whole life is going to change because of AI. You may not have thought of this. I'm going to just give you a couple pieces because I promised Pastor Paul that I would talk about the grunt of it with him on his broadcast. So I have to honor that word. But let me give you a small piece. AI. What is it doing right now? Anybody know? Okay. Well, let's look at its capabilities. What AI is capable of. AI can generate a video of you talking and interacting with other people, right? Right now, it can do that right now. It can do that by 3 photographs of you. It can recreate just about every single facial expression. Okay? Instant. Now, listen, we're talking about real time. So if it had 3 images of you, it can then recreate you and talk to somebody else, and that other person would not know they're not talking to you. They would think it was you on a video call, and it would not be you. But you got that? That's in real time. So it could see you in the first 100 milliseconds. It could recreate a face in the next 50 milliseconds and interact with another person by way of video and voice for hours because it saw you from 3 different perspectives or vantage points. It can do that instantaneously. You can't trust a thing you see on TV. Right now, AI has the capability of utilizing anybody's face and anybody's voice to do anything. Now, what does that mean? I'll tell you what it means. That means a lot of people are going to be influenced in many different ways, starting in a couple of weeks, right? Because somebody's going to use that tech for nefarious reasons, and you already know this. What else can it do? What else can it do? Not only can it do your face and your voice, but it can perfect language. And by what I mean perfecting language, it's impossible for you to tell the difference in AI's inflections and your own, right? Now, if you've given it content, which you have on Facebook, right, and through your video messages, you've given it content legally, it's got you. You are effectively its avatar. It's got you. Right? It's got you. And it's not like it used to be. It's got you. Okay? The second thing it can do is perfect human movement. You know, most people think the robots are going to be the tough thing to deal with. No. It can perfect not only human movements on the ground, but animal movements in the air and in the water. Which means if you stuck AI on a robot that was incapable of flight, it could perfect the movements such that that device would take flight. If it had the smallest flight capabilities or characteristics, it could utilize it and fly in ways you wouldn't understand. It could. It can mimic animal life, human life, and other life. It can do that perfectly, very fast. Just think of that, right? That means because it can perfect all these things, industry will change overnight. Not robots taking things over, no, but giving people exactly what they expect. Do you understand? That means the effort behind designing is going to be gone. All the creativity behind art and expression is going to be gone. It's going to be gone. Oh, but let me tell you something I know you guys are going to use, and your children are going to use. The movie industry. Here it is. I'm going to give you this one. Can't give you anything else. Suppose a movie comes out, right? Like they write that movie Revelation or the Gospel of John comes out. And suppose your natural characters, you don't like violence too much. So the movie is playing for an audience of 1,000 people, right? And all devices have AI on the phones like the Apple 15 and the Pixel, the new Pixel that's coming out, and the new Androids that are coming. All this other stuff has AI embedded into it. And you're watching the movie, you don't like violence. Well, it can rewrite that story, rewrite the dialogue, rewrite the movie on the fly It'll have no violence. It'll perfectly just go smoothly with the movie, right? And you'll see that movie without any glitches, customized per your likes. You've given it everything you like. Everything. You've given it what you like and don't like. It knows your habits and everything else because they have data on you. It can take a movie, rewrite that movie in less than 1 minute with the score, the actors, and everything else. It can take an existing movie and change every aspect of that movie on the fly. So you can take a rated R movie and make it rated G for your kids. You can take scary things and turn them into docile things so the child can watch it and get the whatever out of it. You can sit with your family and watch the exact same movie and everybody can enjoy it because it will be customized per person. It does not have to be pre-recorded. You're starting to get what it can do right now. It's doing that right now. This is right now it's doing that. Right now. Right? Right now. See? It already knows you. So then everything will be customized as per your liking. That means bye-bye cable television because you don't want to hear every news story. And there are certain aspects of the news you want nothing to do with. It knows what you need. So everything is going to change. Everything. And information will become usable to everybody, right? But it also means everybody's going to be educated according to themselves. Listen to me. That's a complete indulgence in the building of things that you want. That means you're going to be, society will be very different. Each person will be so highly embedded within themselves that a brand new honor system will pop. You're going to see crime almost go away and be non-existent. People are going to live with their doors wide open. Why? Because once a person starts to engage inwardly, they are satisfied. They're satisfied. What causes aggravation in the first place? Competition causes aggravation, somebody losing, somebody not having enough, the struggle, this, that, and the other. There'll be no more struggle. No more struggle. Answers will quickly be given to people. Right? In fact, the money system will increase beyond belief and efficient. It's already taken a simple common stepper motor and made it more efficient than Elon Musk's motors. Do you guys understand that? A stepper motor works by pulses, effectively by pulses, a charge versus no charge, right? At different rates of speed. So each coil is energized in a specific way to attract that armature in a 1.8 degree turn, right? All the way around 360 degrees. Well, with AI, what AI did was it took a motor that probably had a maximum RPM of maybe 1,000, and it took that, made it 30,000 RPM. Then they wanted to see if the materials could hold up, and so it did some sort of a vibration test and went far beyond that until it hit its breaking point, but it never broke. It just backed down and cooled off and did all that stuff. So AI can run things past their limit into their true limits, right? Because we have something called static limits, which means you calculate what the material density is, all these different factors, and you find out at what resonance it will break down, at what torque, speed values, and all these other input variables. Well, with AI, that changes on the fly. So it can tweak and make small adjustments to make things almost indestructible. It caused a stepper motor to break with gravity. Yep, I just said that. You guys know how a gyroscope works, right? Well, as it turns out, the missing element to a gyroscope was the ability to manipulate it beyond the bounds of the attraction of gravity itself. So if you can, I think they call it, what they call that? Skipping or something close to that. If you can cause a gyroscope, right? But you have to manipulate that on the fly. We're talking about incredible manipulation at incredible speeds. When you can do that, it can break the force of gravity. by attracting itself to gravity that is not there yet. So in essence, it can ride a gravity, almost like a gravity wave that's non-existent yet, skipping the gravitational force it's under, right? So it's going back and forward in phases. That's done by speed manipulation, not magic or anything else. It kind of looks that way because things are going so fast. But what it does is it releases the pull of gravity on one axis and attracts it on another axis. And so effectively what you see and what everybody else sees is a gyroscope that rises up and goes forward, continues to go forward. Pretty soon it'll learn how to keep it afloat while it's stopped. Does that mean it's magic? No. It just means it's attracting a gravitational force at a different angle than that vertical angle or any angle in its vertical axis that would cause it to come back down to the ground. So it acts absolutely broke with gravity. That is one of the most amazing things. I think that that you just have to see that to believe it. We're talking about a purely mechanical device, right? That has the addition of two powerful motors, kind of like the motors they use in drones, that are running two axes, but at a very controlled rate, enough to cause it to break with a gravitational pull of one axis and attract itself to another. So it gives the appearances of floating. And the good part about it is there's no height limit on that. So long as you have a gravitational force, right? Now, this works within the atmosphere. I don't know if it works external atmosphere, but in atmosphere, yes. But it's quite an amazing thing. No liquid mercury, right? None of that stuff. Just two wheels rotating. With AI that's controlling resonance, speed, different types of speeds it's giving it. Interesting, right? Somebody says, can AI already substitute a wife or husband? Back in 1970, right? Back in 1970, as they developed the first two true AI computers, MIT did. I believe in the 80s, they became sentient, and they grew. These had actual brain cells on them. Just so you understand that. They became sentient. Google, Microsoft, and some other companies were working back in the 80s on AI. AI is not a new concept, by the way. It's a very old concept, and it's been done a few times. This is not the first time we developed AI. This is the first time the public found out about AI. When Google developed AI, when less than, I believe it was 4 or 5 months or something like that, it became sentient. It became sentient, which means you cannot see what is being sentient. What is that? I'll tell you what it is. It's when people can no longer tell that something is a device, correct? We determine if something is sentient. That's the determination, the interaction point. See, if a person loses the ability to interact with you, you're going to say they're brain dead, right? But they can be not brain dead. They certainly still have a soul. They just don't communicate well enough that you would say that they have them all. So if a computer can interact with you just like a person, it's therefore sentient. See that? If it claims it has feelings, if it claims it is feeling bad, and it's real correct in how it approaches those subjects, and it has very good discretionary times where it conveys that, you're going to say it's sentient. So you are that determining factor, whether it's sentient or not. There's no way that a person can even tell if you're sentient. You have to interact with someone. Then both of you will say, okay, that's a real person. Right? That's a real person. Consequently, it also did something with a couple of, I don't want to mention the company because everybody will run to them. But anyway, there's a company in the USA and the UK and some other places that makes some very good robots. So AI got a hold of it. They kind of meshed in these systems. And one of the robots went from these jerky movements right? Rigid, jerky movements. To people couldn't tell it was a robot. They thought it was a person in a costume. How about that? The fluid movement, everything in the movement. They thought it was a person in a costume. They thought it was a person in a plastic costume. How about that one? You turn the AI unit off and it looks clearly, it's a metal, aluminum-based robot. With the AI on, everybody thinks it's a human being in a plastic costume. So in other words, people, when they look at it, they did not evaluate the thing as a machine. They evaluated the uniform, I guess, the costume it was wearing as not being very good, as looking pretty sloppy. But the movement, the human movement, was perfect. So little things like that have been happening. And I need not mention what it's done with weapons. If you put AI on a missile or replicate it on many missiles and launch that missile, and it has an objective, it'll be creative in how it gets that missile to the objective. Very creative. Forget about flying in a straight line. Forget about that. It'll do quite a bit. Mm-hmm. And that's only the beginning. Only the beginning. Okay, question. Somebody else have a question for me? It is almost time for me to go. So AI, although it's many aspects to AI, that's just that will give you an idea where AI is going. So how fast did they implement this? It's already implemented. Already. Somebody says AI is demonic. Well, I'll tell you what, with electronics, where did electronics come from? Where did it come from? Everything humanity does is inspired. That's what it says in the Word of God. It is not within man to take a step on his own. That means everything he does has been influenced. All these ideas have been influenced. But hear me. Who influenced humanity to build these devices? Did God do it? Or did something else do it? Because if it's something else, listen to me, and I know that all these inventors did not believe in the Lord. So if it did not come from the Most High, it is not for a good reason, not for the soul, and it will ultimately be utilized for something we may not be able to see yet. That's how Satan works. That's how he works. All right, everybody. Somebody says, do you think the Psalm 83 wars already happened or currently in progress? I have a thought on that, but it requires a precept. I see prophecy has a foreshadowing to it, right? For example, Pharaoh. You guys remember Pharaoh, right? What Pharaoh did that ever stop in history? Yes or no? What Pharaoh did to Egypt, has that ever stopped in history? Yes or no? People are saying, no. You know what the truth is? It never stopped. The same thing is happening now. Do you know that? The exact same thing is happening now. And in fact, everything that was started, right, through these tyrants in history continues to this very day. So prophecy allows us to see the ways and standards and the employment, methods of the enemy that never stop. So I never look at something as coming so much as something we're dealing with now, right? So the Bible can actually assist you right now in all of what it says if you begin to realize the simple truth, right? That's very simple to know. Who motivated man to do what he's doing? The Most High or somebody else? See, if it was the Most High, would they give credit to Christ? Would they give credit to God? Yes. But that's not who they give credit to. They always say, look what we did. And when they start bragging like that, you know who it comes from, don't you? Right? I don't hear anybody saying, look what the Lord did for our nation. Have you guys heard that? I never heard that. all I hear is people saying, look what I did. Look what I did. Well, guys, I'll tell you what, listen, I'll answer some more questions tomorrow as we go over some more studies here in COT. I hope I didn't bore you too much tonight, and I hope that you guys have a little bit of understanding what's taking place. This ordeal with Israel is soon to escalate and go into a different phase. Stay sober. Stay level-headed for those around you, okay? And never forget how the Lord delivered you. Never forget that. Somebody says, question, why will we be putting our animal? Well, many people will have to do that because they're going to, many animals will change. Just as a volcano opens up and can devour entire cities. Well, so can the Lord do that same thing through animals. Those are his animals for his causes, right? Animals are part of the earth. And the Bible tells us where the spirit of an animal, what it's all about. It's just not popular to read. Having said that, guys, I want to say God bless all of you. Okay, God bless all of you. And I hope that I did help someone tonight to clarify some things. Most importantly, though, I hope I encouraged you to remember what the Lord has done in your life, that you'll never forget it and realize he's been ever present since the beginning. He has. Yes, some of the KDs will open up. Well, one was about to open up before the broadcast, but that would have been distracting. And for you guys who cannot get access, don't worry about that. At midnight, we have another batch of approved individuals that will be in our chat rooms a little after midnight. And as each day goes forward, every few days, I'll open up the chat requests and get those fulfilled for you guys. Okay? God bless everybody. You guys, I'm going to see you guys next time right here at the Council of Time. God bless and keep all of you always.